Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel, I hope you're all doing well. It's long time ago that we didn't do a live. Last time I was live here on the channel, it was on the 9th of October. It was for the game Juventus women against, or it was the Norwegian team against Juventus women. That was the last time, it was on the 9th of October. Since my birthday, since international break, since Paul Pogba news, since X, Y, Z, since a lot of things, since I decided to go to Juve Lazio tomorrow. I will be there at the stadium, so the people that are watching this video, don't forget to message me. A lot already did that will be there at the stadium tomorrow. I can't wait to meet you. The only problem is at the moment, as I'm speaking, I have absolutely no idea where I will be seated at the stadium, which entrance I will enter. But I would love to do some content with you guys for the people that are there tomorrow. Will be nice. Some content, I already prepared some mini games that then we can transform in some shorts. We have a lot of things to do there. Alright, I will be alone. So I count on the people that are there tomorrow. Otherwise, guys, if you can't go there and if you're there, just follow YouTube and also my Instagram page if you didn't yet, because on Instagram I will put a lot of content. Oh, let me say hello to all the people that are there in the chat, like Proja, that was the first one. Ciao Joseph, ciao Sasha, ciao Bogdan, ciao Stavros, ciao Xalino, ciao LJJ, ciao Juve Fino, ciao David, ciao Luigi, ciao grande Luigi, ciao unusual suspect, not usual suspect, but unusual suspect, ciao Akrepi, ciao Salif, ciao Neville Attar, ciao Ravindra, ciao Zlatko, and ciao my great friend Neven, ciao Anin, ciao grande, ciao Omer, ciao Eric, ciao a tutti, ciao grandissimi, ciao. Oh, press conference Juve Lazio. That will go. We'll listen to the words of Thiago Motta, and after listening to his words, of course, live translation, we do a debrief. I also want to go towards the interview of Andrea Cambiaso, beautiful interview on Corriere dello Sport, where he spoke about a lot of things. We have how long? 20 minutes before the start of the press conference of Thiago Motta, that usually is on time. Let me already start checking on Juventus.com, because there was one time, I don't know how, but I don't know if they forgot or not, but it was not on the site of Juve, so there was no press conference. The only thing that we could do was just reading on Twitter. At the moment, it's still not on, so let's see, guys, if you see it on Twitter, if you see Juventus tweeting it, let me know so that we can check it, because without, we have a problem, of course. Without, we have a huge, big problem, because otherwise we cannot do it, but we just can read the words of Thiago Motta. I can't wait for the game of tomorrow. Sincerely, I can't wait, because it's long time. The international break looks like hours and hours and days and days and weeks and months, while actually it was not. It was just 1 week, and then we have to wait one other week to complete it so that we are there. Enjoy the live, Beppe. Thank you, Sasha. I will think about you tomorrow and about all of you in the stadium. Ciao, hey Tamatics. Ciao, Juventini in the chat. Beppe, when will you arrive in Torino? I will land in Torino at 9:35 in Caselle. Then the time that I take the taxi to the hotel, I put my stuff there. Not that I will take along, because I don't stay long. I just go there on Saturday, 9:35 a.m. I arrive. Let's see if I go in the city first, then I will go to the stadium, and then I go back. I think it will be at 12 p.m. I will be at the airport on Sunday, so I have only the morning to take a coffee eventually before leaving Torino. It's just up and down, really fast. Can you have a live session in the city before the game? Maybe talk with people in the street. Live is annoying, I have to say. I think it's annoying. But recording, yes. Maybe already in the city, could be, depending who I see, what I can do, but maybe in the city already, yeah. Or maybe a live Instagram could be. A nice glass of Barolo and Bagna Cauda. Ciao Luigi, grandissimo Luigi, that knows the city. Will there be a live stream during the game? No, during the game, no. No, impossible. It's impossible. I think you cannot, you even cannot do it, or at least you can't show the images from inside the game. You can't. No. Luigi che ci dice 27 novembre a Birmingham. I try, but I cannot guarantee you. I don't have the ticket, so I will not go just to Birmingham, just to go there in Birmingham for Aston Villa Juve. But if there is something that I can do with Juve in terms of activation, maybe I can be there and meeting some fans there. Ciao Sir Raz. Buongiorno Sir Raz. Okay guys, we have 20 minutes before the start. At the moment, again, I repeat, I don't see any link, but maybe it will arrive a bit later, so let's wait for it. In the meanwhile, I don't know if you agree with me or not, but maybe we can go towards the first pages of today in Italy. Tutto Sport, Corriere dello Sport and Gazzetta dello Sport. What can we see? On Tutto Sport they are saying sei forte ma resta umile. Who said that? It's actually Papa Conceição that yesterday at the Golden Globe, the Golden Boy spoke. He was the guest there, the special guest there. He spoke also about his son. He said, "You're strong, but you need to remain humble." Extremely important there. So there is the article inside what he said about his son. He also admit that he was the one that said to his son, "Go to Juve." There were 2-3 big clubs, top clubs on the player, but he said, "Go to Juve." Juve is one of the biggest team in the world. If you remain humble, you can do beautiful things there with Juve. If we go inside, let me check, because they are saying the Portuguese coach spoke to Tutto Sport. "I love Lazio, but I said to Chico to go to Juve because it's the top club in the world. And he would find himself extremely well. And indeed, he's doing so. I made him debuting because he was the coach of Porto, and he launched him at Porto. And to do so as a father, to launch his kid, you need to be a bit crazy. Then I kept him on the bench for 6 months so that he learned. But there are much more than that he said. He said really a lot of things during that talk, because it was not an interview, it was a talk. They spoke about Golden Boy, of course. We have the list of the 20 best players, the last players, plus 5 wild card players that we will go through in a second. But it's a trophy that I really particularly like, the Golden Boy, really. I was there last season as well, live, for the ceremony where I saw Bellingham, Giuntoli. There was also Fabrizio Romano, etc., etc. It's a really well-known international trophy, so it's not just a joke made by Tutto Sport. It's a really old now traditional trophy for the young players. Golden Boy. Last year, Bellingham won. I think that this year there will not be any surprise. I think that the big winner will be Yamal, and I think also probably totally deserved. We'll come back on Golden Boy in a second. What about the other pages? I see already in the chat, Neville that is saying, "Beppe, can you please skip Gazzetta dello Sport?" Because Gazzetta was speaking about Inter, indeed. La mia Inter piglia tutto, which means my Inter will take everything. Interview to summer. They speak a bit about Juve on the first page as well, with Douglas Luiz. Now or never. That's the big title of Gazzetta dello Sport. Now or never for Douglas Luiz. There is also here a double page about Juve and Douglas Luiz. Emergency at Juve. There are some chances for the Brazilian player. Motta is trying to launch him again. It's now or never. That's the page of Gazzetta dello Sport. Then they also speak about Dusan Vlahovic that is trying to reach Tevez and Vialli with 50 goals. At the moment he has 48, so if he scores a brace against Lazio, he reaches them, which would be extremely great. Not bad at all for Dusan Vlahovic. And Wea is back. The American boy is in duel with Mbangula. And then a page where we will dedicate some times a bit later, La mia Juve. No, la Juve è il mio Real, which means Andrea Cambiaso, Juventus is my Real Madrid. Spoke about Thiago Motta, spoke about Allegri, spoke about the Real Madrid possible interest, etc., etc. Spoke about Dusan Vlahovic. Spoke about Fantacalcio, spoke about Cope Manners, about a lot of players there. So we'll go through that after the press conference of Thiago Motta, if you agree. So, which is the first one? Let me know that you want to start with. Do you want to start later after the press conference with Tutto Sport first page about Conceição and Golden Boy? Is that the first thing that you want to go through? Is it Corriere dello Sport with Juve is my Real Madrid interview to Cambiaso? Or is it Gazzetta dello Sport that is speaking about Douglas Luiz, now or never? Tell me, Gazzetta, now or never, Douglas Luiz, Tutto Sport, Conceição, or Cambiaso interview in Corriere dello Sport? I see a Crepi that immediately said, Beppe, I want to start later with Cambiaso. Like Devan that is saying exactly the same, and Lazio as well. So looks like Cambiaso is at the moment the one that is winning. Still waiting, guys, for Juventus to put the link for the interview. I think that they can do it in a minute or two. Usually they do like at 45, 46. Let's see. From the moment that the link is activated, which at the moment is not. And I start to shake a bit because, of course, it's a bit annoying. If you are doing a live press conference translation and you don't have the press conference, well, I will try to not worry too much about it until like 5 minutes before. I think it's fair, no? Oh, it's already on. It is already on. Okay. I feel much better now. It's already on. Grande Juventus Football Club. Maximum of like, guys. That's the message of Lazio. Let me see how much we have to start today with. 35 only. We are 111. We have only 35 people that decided to put a maximum of like. On the other side, if we are looking at the people that decided to become Juventini of the world today, we are with 34,212. I'm sure that we will find some new Juventini also today, thanks to this live, but of course, it depends on you. Maximum of likes, continue to subscribe. If I didn't say it, now I said it. Help me, guys. 100% sure, huh? 100% sure. Nico Gonzalez, Conceição, Bremer. I will put in the possible ones. Cope Manners with a 90%. McKennie with a 75%. Fagioli with a 50%, sorry. Help me. Who else do we miss? Nico Gonzalez, Conceição, Bremer. Sure. Cope Manners, McKennie, Fagioli with some percentages. Is there someone that I forgot? Could be, Now, Weah will be there, guys. If Weah is not there, we have a huge, a huge problem. Milik, bravo. Milik. Yeah, Conceição I said, huh? Milik, good one from Ravindra. Even if it's true, we don't speak about Milik too much. No, Cambiaso. Oh, calma, Cambiaso will be there. You're answering the previous question. Majet is answering the previous question. Fagioli, we said at 50%. Adzic should be there. We will put Adzic and Weah in a special column because they should be there. Let me check. Maybe yesterday I made a report about it in the video. So let me check. Cope Manners, Nico Gonzalez. Actually, it's less than what I was thinking. Yeah, that's it. So what is the first question that you would ask to Thiago Motta, guys? If you have him in press conference in 12 minutes, what is the first question that you would ask him? Buongiorno, Thiago. My name is Ali Ovo, or my name is Acrepi, or my name is whatever. Ali Ovo is saying, Beppe, what's wrong with your face? No, actually, we should say, Beppe, what is good with your face? Because you see how fresh I am? Did you see how fresh I am? I'm super fresh. Look at that. The beard is perfect. The hair. Oh, no hair. The hair. The no hair is perfect. No. Oh, look. The mustache. No. Actually, you say Beppe, you never look that good. No? Oh, I'm 43, guys. I look like 28? I look like 28. I'm 43. Super young. Look at that. Oh. Better than this? Boo. Better than this? Impossible. It's difficult to be more beautiful than Beppe. It's common. Oh, bravo! That's a beautiful question. Look, I will put it here. Convenienza. Good question. Good question. I would make it bigger. Because I would ask if we go towards that question, because we need also to open the door. We need to open the door. Because otherwise you will say yes or no. Ciao, arrivederci. No, we need to make it bigger. We need to have maximum information of Thiago. So I would say, with the latest injuries and absent players, especially on the right side of the field, will Comenencia be called up? And on top of Comenencia, can you tell us the names of other possible next-gen player that can be called up? Because if you ask that question like that, he's obliged to answer. He will tell you yes or no Comenencia, and he will tell you the names of some players of the next-gen that can be called up or not. Better, huh? No gray hairs. I had like one long year. Yesterday I said to the barber, take it off. Take it off because I have no problem. If I have a total white beard, I'm happy. But like one, no. Other questions. Beppe, are you afraid of Lazio? Yeah, I said it since long. Not afraid. Afraid is a huge big word. But they are really informed. They are playing beautiful football. They were under the radar. Nobody was speaking about them. A lot of players left. New coach. So the expectation for Lazio after the, I believe, 8th, 7th, I don't remember, position of last year. Nobody was speaking about them. But they started really well this season. They have the same points as us. We have emergency situation, so it's a match that is extremely complicated. Afraid? No. Extremely complicated, yes. If you're looking also the 5 next games of Serie A, they have an easier way. So in that beginning of the season, Lazio can do extremely well if they, hopefully not, but if they do a result tomorrow against Juve, seriously, the doors are open for a fantastic, beautiful start of Lazio in Serie A. Hopefully we can stop them. In terms of your plans for Juve, how long do you feel this team has come during these first months as a coach? Yeah, well, it's a good question, Eric. It's a good question. Sometimes I will look at my watch, guys, or my phone, whatever. Because if I receive the tickets for tomorrow, hopefully I receive them, then I can tell you yes or no where I will be seated. How much impact do you think the injury will have on the team in the long run? And do you believe there is something Juventus Football Club can do about it? Good question. I don't know how political or not he will answer that question, but it's a really good question indeed. I agree. Handsome Beppe, nice looking for the match of tomorrow. It's a sign of fresh win. Hopefully. Beppe, I think you touched upon it during previous live or video. Your thoughts on next gen in the 19th position at Serie C. How concerning is it? So, of course, that's a question for me and not for Thiago Motta. But we started also extremely bad last season. Look, we are in a real difficult position. Now we cannot say because last year we started in a dramatic way, everything will be okay, because that would be a huge mistake. I think it's important to underline the difficult moment of our second team. That's important. If we don't accept that it's a difficult moment, if we don't realize it, and if we don't take care about it immediately, it will be difficult. But why is it difficult? First of all, because we are with extremely young players that are playing against mature players, ex-bigger players also that played in Serie A, in Serie B, and now they are towards the end of their career. But we are speaking about high-level players in third division. We are speaking about other mature players that are really strong, so that physical level is really different. That experience level is really different. Juventus, that is Juventus Next Gen, that is changing every single year of group, is difficult because it makes all the work extremely super difficult because you need to prepare again 20 teams from scratch because you never studied them, because you don't have them in your archive. So for the staff, for the coach, is always difficult. Of course, every season you need to study Lazio because Lazio of this year is different than Lazio of last year. But of course, if you know that Guendouzi played last year, you have already more information about Guendouzi than starting from zero, from scratch. And that's actually what's happening with Serie C. It's the most difficult of the three groups, because you have A, which is the north, B, which is the middle, and then C, which is the south. You have teams like Benevento that a few years ago were in Serie A. So you have really, really difficult teams in that group stage. On top of that, well, we always start having an idea of a team with Savona, with Rui, with Bangula, and then these players are not there because they are promoted with first team, which is great for the players, which is great for the first team, which is great for the moment. If every single year you are taking off 3-4 players from the next gen, it's difficult to replace them, because the year before it was Kenan Yildiz, it was Huijsen, and it was Nonge, I believe. The year before it was Soule, it was Miretti. It's always like that, so it's extremely difficult. But of course, you need to do much better and fast. Otherwise, we will have extremely a lot of difficulties. Question: can we discuss the Inter Ultra Mafia connection? What do we know so far? If we have a bit of time later, maybe yes, but that was not on the planning today because we have the press conference that will start in 4 minutes. We have a Cambiaso interview, we have the Golden Boy, we have Conceição, the father that spoke about his son, we have Juve Lazio to prepare. No, I don't know if we will have a bit of time, but the thing is serious. Serious, really think. The big question is, of course, let's see if the sporting justice and the Italian justice will take it really seriously. That's the thing. Ciao Chris, ciao Beppe, let's win tomorrow. Enjoy the game fino alla fine, grande. Guendouzi is said to be at risk. Yeah, but today, guys, they made all a story about Guendouzi, but it was the Mignolo. It was, the finger toe, the toe of the foot that he was stepped on during the international break, and they made all a story of Guendouzi will not be there, we will miss it. It's a drama. One player. They are missing, I believe, 2 players, Lazio, while on the other side we are having players that are walking with crutches, like Bremer. So, no, he will be there today. Yesterday he did test it, and he succeeded the test, so he should be there. If not starting from the first game, I think he will. Then he will be certainly on the bench. No, it's not high risk. It was at high risk, according to the media 3 days ago, but no. Rene, Beppe, truly, our players are really mature. Don't underestimate them. You see the way they control the games with more possession and passes. Just the goals that are still to come. We remain confident. Yeah. But then I also said that's something I wanted to have. More possession, more pass accuracy, but it can't be the only thing, because if you have only that and you don't score, you have then you are there with only how much? 3 draws at home, if you're speaking about Serie A, on 4 games. Tomorrow we play at home. Tomorrow we need to win. Tomorrow we need to win, because it's important to win games at home. I'm waiting on the game when everything will work out for Dougie. Hopefully it's tomorrow. Like Gazzetta, Gazzetta is saying something right. Today, now or never, when they are speaking about Douglas Luiz. Now or never. I think it's correct. Later we will go towards the possible lineup. I didn't want to do it earlier or now. For what reason? Because we don't know what Thiago Motta will say. I would be curious to know, because if we know that Milik, Gonzalez, Conceição and Bremer will miss the game, what about Koopmeiners? What about McKennie? What about Fagioli? And then are Adzic and Wea 100% recuperated? What about the youngsters, which will be called up? I think it's important to know these questions before we go towards making a lineup. Ciao a tutti, ciao IMG. Perfect timing to watch this at lunch break at work. Will watch from the beginning. Forza Juve. in Forza, everyone. I don't think that both will start. The big question will be the number 10. I think that Thuram and Locatelli are nearly sure to start. Question to Motta. Will he make a turnover of players ahead of the Champions League and then the match against Inter? He will tell you straight, no. No turnover. Because, oh guys, we are just back. We are just back. Players like Vlahovic, Thuram, Locatelli, Kalulu, Gatti, Di Gregorio. Pay attention. He's there. He is there. He is there. Juventus.com. First question. How are the players that came back from an international break doing? Thiago Motta. They are doing well. The players that can play tomorrow, they did a beautiful training session. We are ready to play the next game, that is the one against Lazio. Giovanni Albanese. You have a few absence. Maybe you can do a point to us. Lazio is really in form. It is a head-to-head game because we have the same points. Are you looking only at the points or also you want the performance? Thiago Motta, I want to see the performance. Because it's the performance that will bring you to the result. I don't want the performance for being aesthetic. Sometimes it happens that the teams that are playing better, they don't win. It happens. But tomorrow I really want a team that is playing well. But playing well means a lot of things. Defending well. Pressing well. Going again compact. Being humble. To defend, to be a block. And then going forward to press. Having the ball and building from the back. And going up when the opponent is not pressing. We need to do the things that we need to do. Having the will to attack them, to really score. When we are speaking about playing well, it means a lot of things. And doing all these things well, then you have more probabilities to do well and better than the opponent. About the absences. Wait, because he needs to do them. You know better than me, he said. Wait. So, to be sure. He's making the list, guys, huh? Fagioli will be there tomorrow. Wea will be there tomorrow. Hey, we didn't hear the names. Wait. I will try to listen again, guys, because we didn't hear them well. Wait. So I tell you what happened. Actually, he didn't make the list. So the journalists were mentioning the names and he was saying yes or no. But the problem is that we don't hear really well the journalist. So let me put it louder. I will try to understand what the journalists are saying because they don't have the microphone. And then going towards what Thiago Motta is saying. Wait, okay. Let me listen. McKennie will not be there. Koopmeiners, no. Nico Gonzalez, no. There's one name that is missing. Coop Manners will not be there. Okay, Okay, we have all the names. So I recap: Fagioli, yes. Wea, yes. McKennie, no. Coop Manners, no. Nico Gonzalez, no, of course. Milik and Bremer, near, no. It's a lot, guys. It's a lot that we are missing. Question from Guardala. With all the players that are missing, with characteristics that the players that you have, who is actually the one that could possibly play as a number 10? Closer to Vlahovic, between Locatelli, Douglas Luiz. Thiago Motta. We will see tomorrow. We need to find a balance between offensive and defensive. And we will try to work tomorrow to see the player that, with the characteristic, is the one that could play more offensively. We'll put them there. But the most important thing is that the player that will play, they need to make sure that the team is working as a whole. I don't think that today we will know a bit about the formations, guys. Did you speak with Douglas Luiz during the international break? What did you say to him? Because it's a really important player and we need to avoid that he's entering a negative spiral. Thiago Motta. Honestly, I spoke really a little with him. Really a little. But I must say that I saw really a fantastic, beautiful behavior during the training session, and he's doing really well. I feel that he's doing really well. Sometimes these strong players that are, under brackets, in difficulties, they are important also to see the reaction of a player, of a man. And I saw a fantastic reaction. He could just stop because he had some situations that were difficult. Physical as well, that a lot of players have. But he doesn't stop. He continued to train in the right way. He continued to do the thing that we are asking. And he's even doing a bit more. And he's also putting his creativity in the training session, in the game. And when I see him like that, I'm extremely relaxed. I'm okay. We are on the right path from a strong player like him. A player that wants to be protagonist. Until today, he played. And when he played, according to me, he played well. But he needs to do better. He can do better. I'm happy about what I see in the training session. And we'll see tomorrow if he will play or if he will just participate. But I was really happy of what I saw in the last 2 weeks. So beautiful words of trust from Thiago Motta to Douglas Luiz. Question from the journalist. Juventus will play 3-4 games in 2 weeks. Dusan Vlahovic is the only one up front. Do we need to see some rotations? Will he always play there? I would love that Dusan Vlahovic would be 100% in every single game. But we know, of course, that it can be that he will not always be 100% in every game. So what do I need to do? I need to check game by game. Tomorrow, if he's at 100%, tomorrow he plays. And then we'll see the next game. And then we see the next game. And of course, like every time, after every game, we check with our staff, with the situation, how the players is doing for the next game. If the best is that he's on the field, and then we need to find a management in the minutes that he's playing. But for the game of Lazio, he's doing extremely well, and he will be present. Another question. If Dusan Vlahovic is not playing, who plays? Thiago Motta. Tomorrow, a lot of players could play in that offensive player, that number 9. Then, of course, it depends what we understand on number 9. Can be a fixed striker, can be one that comes down or up, that is using these spaces, but a lot of players can play that position, actually. We don't score from set pieces, it's true. We have the possibilities to do it tomorrow. Our players already showed it in the past that they are able to do it. One of the big topics of latest days are the lot of games, the multiple games. We are playing too much. What about your opinion about the too many games? Thiago Motta says there are too many games. We knew it since the beginning. We can't complain today. Then, in the adequate moment, we can give our opinion about what can be done better to change that situation. Then, of course, I will raise my hand and I will try to speak. But at today, it makes no sense to start complaining because we know the calendar and tomorrow we have a game. Then 2 days later, we have another game. We'll try to do the best that we can to stay fit, to play all the games at the best of our conditions. Then everyone have their own way of managing it. I'm not here to judge how other people are managing that situation, but I'm thinking about ourselves. But it's a question that they are asking every single time, guys. He's annoyed. Thiago Motta is annoyed because it's always the same question. Question about Adzic. How did you find the Adzic back during the international break? Is there a role? He says, I watched him really well. His behavior, his way of being, is like that. He's open, really open, and I like that. Because he's showing that he's doing well. First smile of Thiago Motta. You watched him not a lot, but I watched him a lot during training sessions. He has less responsibilities than a lot of other players that we have in our team. But when he will have that opportunity to play, I'm convinced that he will do well. He can play as a midfielder, more offensive, less offensive. He played a bit also on the wings, even if it's not a winger for characteristics, according to me. But he can do it. When he will have that opportunity to play, I'm convinced that he will do well. Because in training session, it's a guy that is putting a lot of efforts on it. And in every training session, he's showing that he has that will that he wants to participate with us. First, top words from Thiago Motta about Adzic. Beautiful words. Question: what are the risks about Juve Lazio? But is it a coincidence that Juventus did 3 draws on 4? Do you believe it's a coincidence that Juventus drew before and after the international break? Thiago Motta says, no, I don't believe in coincidences, or, we didn't do enough to win. That's the reality. We need to do better things to win, and of course every single game is different. But if we didn't win, it's because at the end we didn't deserve really to win. Playing better, playing not better, at the end we were not able to win. That's the reality. Lazio is doing really well. They are really fit. They are in a really good moment. Baroni is an excellent coach since long time, that did a lot of seasons really well. And I said it a few times. I also said it to him personally when I met him, because he did a really beautiful work, a big work. That was not easy. I appreciate him a lot. And it's an opponent tomorrow, a team that will be tough, and we need to be ready for everything to do a beautiful performance tomorrow to go towards a result. A few times ago you said, I don't want it's my Juve, but our Juve. That concept in a game like tomorrow, with a lot of absences, how much is it important, that quote that you said? And how much is this team putting aside the I and thinking and focusing on the we? Thiago Motta, but it's not only tomorrow. This is a quote that is always important. Maybe even more tomorrow, because with a lot of absences, a lot of players will have opportunities to show and to express their values, but always for the collective, not individual. It's not, when I'm saying it's not my Juve, it's the reality. I don't build a team alone. There is a club, there is a coach, there are a lot of persons in a club that are building a team that at the end is built with the best ideas for a team to be competitive. And tomorrow we will have another possibility to show that we are also in difficulties, or in some moments of difficulties, also to be a competitive team. Not more, not less. Tomorrow it's a big team that we have to play against. We are doing well. The stadium will be full together tomorrow, another time, which means that the people, they have a lot of enthusiasm, that they are believing what the team is doing. In life, nobody is giving nothing to nobody. If people are coming to the stadium, it's because they really want to see. And they identify to what they are watching on the field. A team that wants to fight. A team that wants to play football. What are the teams that surprised you the most in that beginning of Serie A? Thiago Motta says, I expected Lazio to be there on top because they have a good coach, they have good players. I absolutely not surprised. Again, nobody is giving nothing to nobody, so they deserve to be there. And tomorrow, it will be a beautiful game wherein we need to do our job to have a positive result. Last question. Camilo De Michelis, tutto Juve. What about Thuram physical condition? And how much is it difficult to adapt to Serie A? And is Serie A underrated from a tactical point of view? Thiago Motta says no. Everyone is speaking about Serie A being a really tactical league. And that's a positive point. Kefren Thuram is doing really well. He has always been really well. It's a kid that wants to improve every single day. He has a lot of ambitions. He grew up really well like that. He had a beautiful example as his father that always told him the truth. He always wants to play. He's not happy when he's not playing. He's accepting because, of course, it's my decision. But he's showing in every training session that he wants to improve and that he wants to play. But I'm extremely happy about what he's showing, and he needs to continue like that. The question was like, when you're referring to a big master, a big example, you're speaking about his father. And Thiago Motta said, of course. I don't know. Cope, Milik, Weston. He's repeating the absences. So, absences, I repeat for the people that just joined. Cope, Milik, Gleison, Nico Gonzalez, Weston, and of course Conceição. So tomorrow, that was the last question. I repeat again, who will not be there tomorrow is Milik, Bremer, Nico Gonzalez, Weston McKennie, Cope Manners, and Conceição. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 players. They didn't ask about. They didn't ask about Comenencia or next gen players. Okay. Ciao, Axe. Okay. We will, because I wrote a lot of things in the meanwhile. At a certain moment, the press conference was extremely confusing, and they even succeeded to drag me out of it and to lose a bit of focus, a bit of concentration. It was not an easy one. Honestly, it was not an easy one. It was 20 minutes of a difficult press conference, but he said really important things. He spoke about Adzic. So, wait, He spoke about Adzic. Super important. He spoke about Dusan Vlahovic and possible replacement of Dusan Vlahovic. He spoke about the reaction of Douglas Luiz. He spoke about Kefren Thuram. Of course, he spoke about Lazio. He spoke about the absence and who will be there tomorrow. Oh, they are big. He spoke also, super important, about what it means to him to have beautiful football, beautiful performance. So we have like 4 or 5 huge big topics. No, there are no questions about Pogba. I was not expecting it because they know the answer. You know, if you ask a question about Pogba today, super easy. They know that they are actually throwing away their question because the answer of Thiago Motta will be, look, we already spoke about it. The club will take the right decision together with the player. When they will tell me if he will be at disposal or not, when the decision will be taken, I will take care of the situation. And that's why probably, it would have been an extremely prepared and political answer. So I think it makes sense that they didn't ask it. Itamatic Beppe, bring us the 3 points. I will try. I will try. I promise you I will try. But yeah, performance, absences, reaction of Douglas Luiz, DV9, Adzic, draws, super important words about draws, and Kefren Turam. And I'm also happy that he spoke really well about the coach Baroni, because when the general trends are going a lot of time during a few years with Italiano, with Palladino, etc., etc. Well, there were Tuchel, Pochettino, and if you want to go towards also foreign coaches from I have always had a lot of regards, of course, for Thiago Motta, and I always said it here on the channel, but also for Baroni. That is absolutely not a trendy name. I don't know, maybe because he doesn't have these beautiful sneakers, or maybe because he's not wearing a 7/8 pant, these short pants, or maybe because it looks a bit older than the other ones. I don't know. Maybe because I don't know, it's a solid coach, but I was extremely happy to hear Thiago Motta speaking extremely well about Baroni, and they are sincere words, not just because we are playing against them tomorrow. So guys, give me a second, and then we'll go towards the usual question: what you think is the most important thing that you heard in the press conference of today, and then going towards all of them before going towards the interview of Cambiaso, etc., etc. So give me 1 minute, I go for some water, and then I come back here. If you want, you can already start writing down the thing that really caught your attention and stood in your mind. Write it down, because when I'm back, I will read them, and then we'll go towards the maxi debrief or press conference of Thiago Motta, Juve, Lazio. We are back. We are back. Thank you for waiting a second. So for the people that are already starting to write down, Marco is dreaming about Douglas Luiz scoring 2 goals. Beautiful words from Thiago Motta, by the way, about him. Douglas Luiz seems distracted and... Wait. And somewhere else with his head, and he seems always tired and sad. Hope he is well. Thiago Motta, I will come back on here, but fantastic words. Stavros, for me, a balanced team is needed to bring us the 3 points. And also the way Motta speaks about the player Juve staff is remarkable. Thank you for the translation. Bible Dancer. Grande Bible Dancer. Bible Rain Dancer that is there with us on Juventus. I think it has become a job for me, following you and Juventus with Monblano and Virginia at the same time. Now, soon I will have to switch to Twitch for the Daily Prime with a drag too many snags. Grande Bible Rain Dancer. Admiring the background set on Beppe. Thank you. But it's the same. It's always the same, guys. I need to change. I would love to change it, by the way. Beppe, I dreamt that I met you in real life the other day. Oh, bravo. And what did I say, Salman? What did I say? Did I say Ciao Juventini of the world? Ciao Salman of the world. Tomorrow, again, I will be at the stadium. Maybe I can meet some of you. It's always a huge, big pleasure to meet you in real life, sincerely. Buongiorno! Good Friday, my friend Ziad. Okay, so let's debrief and then we go towards the words of Andrea Cambiaso in interview today in Corriere dello Sport. What I loved, a few things from Thiago Motta in press conference today. Let me put it down. What time I'm saying it? At 1 hour. Okay, perfect. Performance. He said, tomorrow we need to do a beautiful performance. We need to play well. But pay attention, because playing well means a lot of things. It's not only aesthetic, and that's important. He's not satisfied with beautiful game, with tiki-taka, with passes like this, like that. No. What does it mean? And he always starts with the defense. Always. He's always speaking about beautiful, compact block with people that are ready to sacrifice for each other, to recuperate the ball, to be able to attack and to go to score, to be able to use the spaces, to be able to go with the team forward, especially when the team is not pressing that much. So he's saying all these things put together, doing the things that we are training on, that we are working on, that makes that it's a beautiful performance, that it's a beautiful game, that leads us to the result, because he's there for the results. So that's one thing that I hope it's really clear for a lot of people. What is beautiful football? You can have 90% ball possession, you can have 100% pass accuracy, you can have 25 shots on target, you can have whatever you want as a beautiful statistic, the XJ, you can have all these kind of things, but if they don't bring the result, well, something didn't work out really well. And that's super important for Thiago Motta. So it's actually putting aside all that aesthetic, philosophical football way of foot. No, you need to go and do all these things, also the defensive phase, so it's not only offensive, to bring you to a result. One. But you don't have to wake up, Salman. You have to continue to dream about Beppe. The second thing that he said was about reaction of Douglas Luiz, because there was the question about first, who will play as a number 10? That was the thing, because I wrote it down. Sometimes it's difficult to understand what I'm writing. He spoke about who will play as a number 10. He said, number 10. Tomorrow we'll see. The most important thing is that we keep the balance between offensive and defensive phase. Tomorrow we'll try to put the player that is the most able, capable, informed to do the work that he needs to do, not copying Cope manners, but the characteristics that are bringing us closer to linking up with the offensive players like Dusan Vlahovic. Super important. So it's not trying to find the same characteristic way of playing like Cope manners, copy pasting because Cope is not there, but to find a way to find a balance, a player that can give up and down. Super important. Then, about Douglas Luiz, he said, look, he can do better. He had to do better. I'm happy about the thing that he showed, yes, but it would be a lie to not say that that he can do better, because he's an extremely strong player. But I didn't speak a lot with him during these two weeks, really a little. But what I was watching, what I was observing, what I was seeing from him in these 2 weeks of training session was really good. Was really good. He was working extremely hard, and I love the reaction that he has, because a lot of players in these moments of reaction, of difficulties, let's say it like that, he caused the last 2 penalties that we conceded. They could give up, but no, the reaction of Douglas Luiz is really great. He's there, he's fighting, he's showing. I will tell you one thing that he didn't say, but I heard that actually Douglas Luiz in the last 2 weeks impressed a lot in training session. Then of course it's only the field that will tell us yes or no if he's able to translate it, or if it's only in training session or also in the game. But from what I heard, the 2 last weeks of Douglas Luiz were really, really great. So I would not be surprised to see Douglas Luiz starting tomorrow. Then the big question is, where will he play? Where will he start? Not forgetting that we have a lot of absent players, and we also need some players that can enter from the bench. But yeah, so Douglas Luiz, reaction, fighting spirit, also bringing the creativity in training session, but also on the field. So beautiful words and trust about Douglas Luiz. Guys, I didn't give up on Douglas. Huh? On the 18th of October, and actually if we go back in time, on the, what was it, the last time that we played a game of football, I don't remember, the 3rd of October or something like that, before the international break, I don't remember. But before the international break, the 6th of October, giving up on Douglas Luiz, that's crazy, huh? That's crazy. I already saw some people that sent me some direct messages or messages like Beppe. We change immediately in January. We take Tonali instead of Douglas Luiz. First of all, it's not even possible, first of all. And then if you start already giving up on a player that you signed, one of your top signings in October, would be totally, totally crazy. Then objectively, but Thiago Motta is extremely honest in his press conference. Yeah, he can do better. Of course, he needs to do better. But no. We are waiting for the moment of Douglas Luiz. I can't wait for Douglas Luiz to shine and to bring us that. I think that the season will depend a lot on what our new players will be able to give. Koopmeiners, Douglas Luiz, Kefren Thuram, Conceição, Nico Gonzalez. A lot will depend. The result of the end of season, a lot will depend on these new players, what they will be able to give. On top of that, of course, what the players that are there to substitute Bremer will also be able to give in defense. But I think that really the step up from Juve will depend a lot on Douglas Luiz and Koopmeiners. These 2 players more than all of them. Douglas Luiz and Koopmeiners are the one that can make you the difference. If these 2 players are clicking, are making that next step, I think that Juventus will have a lot of benefits from it. If not, I think that Juventus will suffer a bit. I'm not saying that we'll finish 10th or not, but a lot will depend on these 2 players. So Thiago Motta trusting him and seeing also a beautiful reaction is great. He says that sometimes these moments of difficulties are really important also to discover a player from not only a sporting point of view, but also from a personal, from a man point of view. How are you facing difficulties as a man? Which I think it's one of the biggest value to discover what person you are in moment of difficulties. If everything is going well, if everything is fantastic, if you don't really need to fight, to show who you are really deep inside. It's when you are in difficulty, when it's a moment of difficulty, that you really need to show who you are. So yeah, in a way, I totally agree with that. Then he spoke about Dusan Vlahovic, about the rotations, because he's the only one there up top. Will he play all the games or not? And he says also something extremely obvious and sincere. He's saying, look, it makes no sense to start planning how many games he will play out of 4 today, because we don't know what will be his physical condition, mental condition, if he will be available or not in the next game. You never know, huh? 2-3 yellow cards, he's banned, or a red card, or whatever. You don't know about Dusan Vlahovic in 4 games against Parma, for example. So we need to focus game by game. Now, he's at 100%, he's doing extremely well, is he super form? Tomorrow, he will be there. That's the only name that we are sure that tomorrow will play. So for people that said maybe we'll see Adic starting as a false 9, or I don't think so, because the only name that Thiago Motta gave us today is Dusan Vlahovic. That is there. He will be there. He will participate. He will start. So Dusan Vlahovic on top. Then he hopes, and he says, I hope that I have him at 100% for all the games that are coming, because that means that he will always play, but we don't know, so it's game by game. About that number 9 position, you say pay attention, because who else could possibly play if we if we need to balance, if we need to manage tomorrow the minutes of Dusan Vlahovic, which means that he goes out at a certain moment of the game or whatever. He says a lot of players can play that position of that striker, but then it depends how you understand that role of the striker, because some strikers can play as a static number 9, the real number 9 that is staying there up. Then other strikers, they can go down, they can create spaces, a bit referring to what he was asking to Zirkzee to do last season. So a lot of players can play in that position. Look, I already told you yesterday, I believe, in the second video of yesterday, I told you that from what I heard, Vasilija Adzic was tested in that position. That doesn't mean that he will start there. That doesn't mean that he will even play there. That doesn't even mean that he will play tomorrow. But he was tested there, so I think that he's starting to referring a bit to an Adzic that could possibly play there. But we know it, according to him. Nico Gonzalez can play there, but it's not there tomorrow. Wea could play there. Tomorrow Wea is there. Kenan Yildiz could play there possibly. Has been tested also in that position. Adzic. So we have a few players. Look, if we have to go by elimination, if Wea plays that position, that means that you are burning a bit your winger substitution. If Kenan Yildiz plays there, that means that you are burning a bit a kind of position there. No, Georgia, you didn't understand it. I'm sorry to say. It's not about Zirkzee is mediocre or not. We are speaking about football. We are speaking about what he was requested to do. So tactical positioning of Zirkzee and role and how he was playing with Bologna. And I think, honestly, that he did extremely well. If today he's at Manchester United, I don't care if he's performing, not performing with United. Anyway, whatever player that is going to United is underperforming since a few years now. And it's not only related to the quality of the player, but also partially probably overvalued, overrated, overpaid, like Anthony. But in UK we know it, and they have a lot of money and they overpay a lot of players. But that's not the thing. It's not still talking about Zirkzee. It's about the role that he was doing. And when today Thiago Motta is speaking about how you interpret and give that perspective to the striker, we need to speak about a striker that is static up front in the box waiting for the game, or you have mobile strikers that are also dropping down, creating spaces, coming back and starting from a bit lower in that position to dribble and to create space. And for example, Zirkzee is a fantastic example of what Thiago Motta was asking. He did it with Arnautovic in a different position. He did it with Zirkzee. He did it with other players in the past as well. I think that's the big difference, which he explained today in press conference clearly. So no, it's not about Zirkzee, it's to give an example of something concrete that happened. But he said we have multiple players that can possibly play also there tomorrow, which means that if I go with understanding, of course, depending on how the game goes tomorrow, because the game you cannot plan, I really think that Dusan Vlahovic will not play 90 minutes tomorrow. That he will be subbed out at a certain moment of the game. Then he spoke about, indeed, Adzic. And that was the first time and also the only time that he smiled during the press conference. Every single time that Adzic is mentioned, that it was in Herzogenaurach in Germany, or that is today, or that it was a few weeks ago, when we are mentioning Adzic, Thiago Motta smiles. Guys, there is a reason why yesterday I put him on the thumbnail. I don't know if you watched the video or not, but there is a reason why I put Adzic. I know that a lot of people are saying we go with feeling, we go with what we think. I am convinced that Adzic is a really qualitative player. Now, Thiago Motta is also saying something important. Adzic has less responsibilities than the other ones in the team. You remember that he has a contract where it's clearly written black on white. It's a player that will participate to first team and next gen. So it's a transitional player that can do both of them, but he's there also counted as a first team player. And that's a really big, huge difference in terms of other players that are only there for the first team. Savona is only there for the first team. Rui is only there for the first team. Azic is a bit that hybrid player, a bit less responsibility, but every time that he's smiling, he's happy, and he said it. I watched him really well. You watched him not a lot because you didn't have the opportunity, but I watched him a lot. I saw him a lot. I'm following him a lot. I'm monitoring him a lot. He came back really well. He shows that he wants to play. He shows that anger. Today, Cambiaso in the Corriere dello Sport spoke about Adzic. Let's see. I will ask you. What was the word that Cambiaso used to describe Adzic? Let's see if some people, they are already aware. I will tell you later about the press conference of Cambiaso. But there is a word that Cambiaso used to actually describe Adzic. What is the word? If you don't know, let me know that you don't know. If you know, let me know. He said one beautiful word to describe Adzic. Alex is saying lion. No, it's not lion. That was not the word, at least for Adzic. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. He said un diamante is a diamond. Is a diamond. Is a diamond. Wait, I'm going back to the words of Cambiaso so that I can tell you the exact words. Wait, Adzic is a diamond. He has only 18 years. He just arrived from Montenegro, and he seems like he's at Juve since his entire life. Un diamante. He's a diamond. Look, I think really that when Thiago Motta is asked about Adzic, he's smiling, his eyes are shining because he see a real beautiful talent. He see a diamond. And that's what we have to say. He said, I see him with an open body. You know what it is, huh? You know, when we are speaking about verbal, non-verbal, I gave courses about that, easy courses, because that I had to form sales associates for, or the managers that should have trained their sales associates. But, you have like techniques of selling techniques, etc., etc. And, Italians, it's a bit easier for Italians because we speak a lot with our hands, we are showing, we are doing. But it's important because when you are a sales associate and you welcome, your guest like that, or you turn yourself a bit, you put yourself like that, you're actually showing that don't come too much in my comfort zone. I'm not ready to open you, to welcome you. When you're going face to face, it means I know what I'm speaking about. When you're even opening your arms, when you're like that, it means like, come, I will take care of you. If you believe me, if you trust me, you will be in good hands. And you go towards the people. If you have two sales associates when you enter a store and you need some advice, where do you go? Towards the sales associate that is close like that? Of course, I hope we don't see them because then we have a problem. Or you go towards the one that is ready with a big smiley saying, come. Well, this is what Thiago Motta is showing today. It's exactly the same. Football, no football, behavior. Thiago Motta is speaking a lot about behavior. Well, he loves the fact that he's standing there. I know who I am. I'm 18, yes, but I know my role. I know who I am. I know what I'm ready to give you. And I'm here. Thiago, just ask and I'm ready for you to jump. So, beautiful word from Thiago Motta. He says that he can play as a midfielder, offensive midfielder. He said he can play a bit more normal. He didn't say defensive midfield, but like a real midfielder. He can even play on the wing. He said he's not a winger. He has not the characteristic to play there, but he can play there to give some support. But we know already today that he's not a Kenan Yildiz in terms of positioning. He's not a Bangula. He's not a Conceição. So forget about these kind of players. But it's an offensive player that can also start a bit more from the wing. Beautiful words about him. I think that tomorrow we can see him for a few minutes, not from the start. Spoke about the draws. Beautiful words about the draws, where he said, look, about the draws, is it because of coincidence, because the draws, they arrive or right before international break or right after international break? As he said, I don't believe in these kind of coincidences. By the way, I believe in these kind of things, but Thiago Motta not, and it's good that he doesn't believe in these kind of things. But he said, and I love what he said, if we didn't win the games, and every game has another story, but if we didn't win them, it's because we didn't deserve fully to really win them, or because we didn't do enough. Then he also spoke about Thuram, saying that it's a player that had a beautiful example at home, that always told him the truth, the honesty. When he's saying these kind of things, it's beautiful because you go towards a coach that loves that honesty, that open speech, saying the truth. Because a lot of time, especially today, we are a bit scared to say how it is. We are political. We are scared to hurt someone's feeling. But I believe that, especially as a coach of football, if you are able to say the things in a proper way, saying how it is super important. Super important. He said he's not happy when he's not playing, and he shows it. But then the most important thing is that in training session he's showing that he wants to play and that he deserves to play. So bravo, bravo, bravo. That was it about the press conference. Beautiful one. Is there a question that we need to go through? Is something that I forgot before we go towards the interview of Cambiaso or not? I'm asking you, of course, to put a maximum of like and to participate, because we are not a lot of people. I know that the timing on the live, especially for US market, is really early. A lot of people are at work, they can't type, but tell me if I forgot something or not. Or we go towards the next topic. That we will go quite fast, through them. And we go again. Without interaction, guys, it's tough. Zero. People, bah. Zero. What a disaster. Oh, guys. I know that there was the international break, but mamma mia, I didn't expect having the fans break with the fans that are breaking and are not there. What a disaster. What a disaster. I'm not used to it. Usually I have difficulties to follow the live chat. But we can go, huh? Lineup of tomorrow. Not as I don't think that he will start tomorrow, but I really think that tomorrow we could possibly see I think that tomorrow we could go towards that lineup to start with. That could be possibly the starting lineup of tomorrow. How much do you think from on 11 we are correct with that lineup? 11 on 11, which is 100% correct. Do you think it's 10 on 11, 9 on 11, 8 on 11? So racing 9. 8 on 10. Oof. 8 on 10. If, guys, I don't know if you know, but if we go towards the team squad, Nico Gonzalez out, Milik out, Weah will be back, Azic back, Arthur not, McKennie's not there tomorrow, Fagioli is there, Rui, Cabal, Danilo, Pinsoglio, Kalulu, Vlahovic, Bangula, Conceição will not be there tomorrow. Koopmeiners will not be there tomorrow. Thuram, Locatelli, Cambiaso, Savona. Hey, if you go towards the lineup, guys, you see that Nico Gonzalez, Milik, McKennie, Conceição, Koopmeiners, Arthur, Bremer, they will all be out, huh? It's not that you have a lot of choices. Huh? Who else do you have as choice? You have Weah, you have Cabal, you have Danilo, Fagioli. Wait, huh? Let me do like this. Like this is a bit easier to go through the players. Bangula, Danilo can play here or there. Adzic. That's it, huh? Oh. These are the players, huh? For tomorrow, if we don't count next gen players, we have 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 players that can be called up. 17 players that can be called up tomorrow. I could be that Cambiaso plays here, but it would be crazy to have Cambiaso playing here while you have 3 players that can play that position, you see. And here you have a Weah that doesn't have the 90 minutes in his leg. That's why I really think that Cambiaso could play here tomorrow. Cambiaso with Weah as a second change. Don't forget that Weah can play possibly in the spot of Vlahovic like he already did. Douglas Luiz could start with Adzic being the sub. You have Bangula and Weah that can enter to give you some, they give you 1 change on the wing, possibly 2 change on the wings, and they can even change you here up front. So I think that offensively, if you move Cambiaso up front, you have enough to start and you have enough to possibly change like this. You can do like this, like he said today. You can also go like this with him here. You can do really a lot of things offensively if Cambiaso starts here. And that's one thing. In the middle, pay attention, because in the middle, and that's my big question, and that's why Adzic starting, it's not that crazy. You know why? Because Fagioli is not at 100%. If you put Fagioli here, because he's not at 100%, and if you play with these guys, you know what's the problem? That you have 0 changes in the midfield. Because there is nobody anymore on the midfield. You have nobody in the midfield. If you play with these 3 to start the game, you have nobody in the midfield. So you know that logic that someone said in the beginning of the game, to eventually Could we see this tomorrow? Could we see this tomorrow? Hey. You see? So that you have 1 player, possibly 2 players, but 1.5 player that could possibly enter tomorrow from the bench. Could be, huh? Because you need to think about 16 players, not 11. Possibly, yeah. You don't have to do all the changes, of course, but you need to take it into consideration. You could possibly see that, huh? I think for a defense, there are no doubts. It's one between Cabal and Rui, but could be that you see this. Could be that we see it's just to keep some players, huh? Could be that we see this. I will go even. Could be that in the second half, it could be that we start like that, guys. It could be that we start like this, and that in second half, look what I will do. I will surprise you. We start like that, and then in second half, could be that we see Cambiaso as a mezzala. He knows how to do it. And there are a lot of solutions. It's crazy because we have a lot of solutions without having a lot of solutions. I think this is the big miss. The big miss. Conceição. Yeah, I agree. With Conceição, even without Cope, Manners, McKennie, Nico Gonzalez, Milik Bremer, with Conceição on the field, it would have been way much easier to make the starting 11. Because, let's not lie, who can play that we already saw here in that position? We saw Cambiaso, and we saw Wea from the ones that are available. Then if you play with another player, he said it once, the players that are playing on the wing, they should play on the left and on the right regardless. At that level, they should be able to play regardless there. So also Kenan Yildiz and Bangula, they could possibly play there on the right side. But it's true that Conceição would have been the missing link. Mikey Mazzarese, thank you for 33 months, my friend. Really appreciate it. Good morning, Mikey. Ciao, Beppe, everyone. I want to see us play with a little more urgency tomorrow, especially from Douglas Luiz. He's still playing slow for me. If we are looking at the game against Cagliari, especially the first half, I don't think that the sense of urgency was not present, especially not in the first half. Probably a bit less. No, it was less in the second half, but in that first half, I agree. No, in that first half, I don't agree. Then if we are speaking about games like Napoli, Roma, also Empoli, that sense of urgency was missing. I agree. In other games, we are always starting with the diesel motor, and I think sometimes it's also good. Even if I would love to have our team always at 100%, tomorrow will be a tough game, because we don't know the level of all the players, how they came back, how many minutes they have with their travel. So I don't expect tomorrow a Juve that goes immediately at 200%. I don't expect that. It's true that we are playing at home. It's true that it's a big game, but I think that it will be again a Juve that for the first 15-20 minutes will be we study, we try to win the battle of the possession without taking too much risks. And I think also when you are listening to Thiago Motta, it's a bit his philosophy as well. The back is very a priority, and then we go up. So, yeah. What about here? Did we grow? We grew. We found new Juventini in the meanwhile. 4 new Juventini of the world. I said it, we will find new ones. So, grande. I agree, must play smart and not play fast for the sake of playing fast. But that's the thing. Then, of course, what is one thing that I hated from this Juve is that sense of urgency in the last 5 minutes of the game when you are not winning. That's the thing that we need to do. There I agree. Then you need to go. Zlatko! Ciao, Pep. I really want to know what is happening with guys. It's not the video. We didn't even speak about Cambiaso. I already made videos about it, huh? I already made videos about it. Some people, they even told me, Beppe, stop speaking about it. But no, I will. When we know more, I will make a video or I will speak about it in the videos, but not today. Not today. We are not even enough. Makes no sense. About Cambiaso, you see that today he made a huge big interview. La Juve è il mio Real. I wanted to go back to a question that was said, no, to an opinion that was said earlier about Cambiaso. Someone said Cambiaso is starting to be the best Italian player. Do we agree with that? But seriously, the best Italian player. Is he going towards there? Look, it was Bible Rain Dancer that said Cambiaso is on his way to be a top Italian player. Not the best. I was wrong. To be a top Italian player. Do we agree with that? Do we agree with that? I agree with that. I agree with that. I agree with that. 100%. Top player. Of course, if we are judging the assist, the goals, and only the stats, it will probably not be there because it's not a player that will score you 10 goals or whatever. But it's a player with this versatility that is incredible. He can play left, right, up, down, in the midfield. He understands the game. Pure player, honest player, transparent player. Kind player, always with a smile, a fighter. When you see his reactions after he saved the goal, sometimes when he's just blocking and put it in the ball outside of the field for a throw-in, Cambiaso is extraordinary. I made a video, I think, 3 days ago where I said Cambiaso is a world class, but I'm not exaggerating. The growth of Cambiaso, if we are thinking about... Let's first start with Juve. Who else had a grow like Cambiaso, let's say, in the last 5 years? A grow like Cambiaso in the last 5 years. I don't have a lot of players in mind, from really seriously, yeah? From the last 5 years, I'm trying to look. Gatti, if we are looking at the last 5 years from where he's coming, so from minor leagues to top, yeah, could be in that contest, but I think that Cambiaso is, that step ahead today. Today, Cambiaso is that step ahead. I'm trying to think, yeah. Sule could have been that player from the next gen to, a real starter scorer in the Serie A, but at the moment he has difficulties to prove himself at Roma. I'm trying to think about Gatti, probably not yet, but maybe even Di Gregorio could be in that category because he also started in the lower category, going up. Monza, goalkeeper of Serie A, awarded best goalkeeper of Serie A, now at Juve, but he doesn't have called up by the national team for the first time, so he's going there, but of course he has not that international recognition yet. Yeah, these are the players, guys. These are the players. Up and down internationally. Yeah. I would say Gatti, Di Gregorio, but I think that Cambiaso is really a level up about everyone. What did he say, Andrea, today? He spoke a lot. It was really a beautiful interview. I really appreciate it. Where he said, let's start. What does it mean, Juve, to him? He said, it's the history of Italian football. As easy as that. Not history, the past, history. It's the books. It's historical. It's a second family. and a fantastic point of arrival for my career. Guys, you know what I love? Then you never know. In football, in January, you have an offer of 200 million euro for the player. Juventus, they decide to sell him. He decides to go, and the beautiful words are gone. As easy as that. So you cannot plan for the future. Baggio left, Zidane left, and then you have on the other side Nedved that decides to retire with Juve. So you never know. You never know. Nedved, why am I saying Nedved? Because Nedved didn't want to join. A lot of people are saying Kalulu didn't want to join. Nedved didn't want to join. And today is probably in the top 5 of the best, most loved players of Juve. No? No? Nedved is in that category. Top 5 most loved players of Juve. So, you see, and he didn't want to join because he said too much. No, leave me alone. I'm good at Lazio. I don't want to join. The goat of Aman. You see, Nedved. That's why I'm telling you. Sometimes players, they are not sure to join. It's not that they don't want to join. They are not sure to join. So he said, it's a beautiful point of arrival because Juventus is a point of arrival and should be considered like that. When you go to Fiorentina, could be that it's the end point of your career, but Fiorentina is or after the peak you join them, or it's while you're waiting for going to the peak of your career, hoping that it's a transitional team or an end destination when you are past your prime, or it's a transitional to step up, with all the respect for Fiorentina. But this is also the same for a club like Lazio, except if you are born in Roma and you are Laziale or Romanista alla Francesco Totti, but these teams are like that. Juventus is a team that should be a ending point, a point of arrival. I arrived at Juve, I reached the Himalaya, the top. I am there. Then, of course, you have other clubs that can be interested, you can leave, and there, but that's Juve. And when a player is telling me that, that's beautiful. Because he understands what it is. What about Real Madrid? He said, well, only the fact that I have been linked with a club like Real Madrid is something that is bigger than me. When he's saying that, you understand how humble Cambiaso is. It's bigger than me. I am, of course, proud that I have, interest from clubs like that. It's rewarding. It's stimulating me also to know that people are appreciating me and what I do. I didn't receive offers. So he wants also to be clear on that. I didn't receive any offers. But in any way, and he wants to underline it, in whatever case, anyway, Juventus is my Real Madrid. So again, saying it with different words, that Juventus is a point of arrival. If I think to close my career here, he said, I just renewed until 2029 and I want to stay here as long as possible. As long as possible. Sometimes the club doesn't want you anymore. Sometimes you don't want the club anymore. Sometimes beautiful story that you think that will be forever, like in eternity. Paolo Dybala, Federico Chiesa, they stop. So you never know, but as long as possible. And that intention is already really beautiful. Is Juventus a club for the Scudetto? He said, look, we are in the first spots. We need to play always with the intention to win. Inter is favorite. And in 2 games, there is that huge big game against Inter. You never know. But before that, you have Lazio and Stuttgart. 2 huge mountains to climb. But we are there, between the bests. What about Lazio? Fantastic. No, annoying team, he said. Not fantastic. Annoying team. With a lot of physicality, with a lot of runs, and a lot of enthusiasm. They are scaring us. No, that is scaring teams. So it's a team that you need to respect, to say it like that. They will come to Torino with 4 offensive players that are creating a lot up front. Fagioli and Pogba. Here he goes a bit more serious. He said, look, it's difficult to support, to help, to find the right word to say. You try, but it's not always it's enough. Because, of course, you can understand this situation only if you go through these situations. Sometimes we are trying to help, but we are not psychologists or doctors or, so it's tough. So I also loved that way of speaking from Cambiaso. He could have said, yeah, we support, we send some messages, we show that we are close to them. But then he said, guys, we are speaking about huge problems, big problems that are difficult to, because in today's world, what I love from Cambiaso in that answer is that in today's world, everyone is expert at everything. Everyone is lawyer, everyone is a coach, everyone is a medical staff, everyone knows about a meniscus, about how long an ACL, about what they need to do. They know about the experience of a player. But guys, they are earning 10 million a year. Why are they complaining? Because they are tired. Why we never experienced high level, top level football and the preparation that it requires. But we are all expert of everything, because today you have access to information, which 20 years ago you didn't. Today you go on Google, ACL, you know the definition, you know how it is, but today we are all experts without doing the studies. Today we know what it is to be a doping case, a gamble case, and he said something totally right. Oh, ragazzi, we try to help, of course, to support, to show, to say a little word, but we are not experts. So sometimes it's more difficult than we might think. Then he spoke about Fantacalcio. He's playing the Italian Fantacalcio. We are playing the English one, the English version based on Premier League, so the Fantasy League. But he said, I spent my huge big part of the budget for Dusan Vlahovic. He said he will do at least 20 goals. He's speaking, of course, of Serie A. I feel it. And I want to help him to score these 20 goals, at least in Serie A. Then I've spent 10% of my budget for myself, so he's convinced that he will do a beautiful season. And then he also said, I invested the rest on Di Gregorio as well. Because from the first moments and the first training session with Thiago Motta, I understood that we would have been a team that would have conceded not a lot. Guys, that shows also there. I understood immediately that we would have been a team that will not concede a lot. That's actually what surprised a lot of people from these first friendlies that we saw Juventus conceding against Brest, Nuremberg, Atletico Madrid. Yeah, that we conceded every time goals. Then you go towards record in the era of the 3 points of Serie A without conceding from the beginning of the league. It's crazy, yeah? Crazy how things, they can change from one day to another. Incredible. But it's true. Then, Bible Rain Dancer is saying 26 goals in Serie A. It's a lot. 26 is a lot. Then, about the new arrivals, he said, I adore them. Then he speaks about Cope Manners, pragmatic person. He knows what he wants and he knows how to obtain it, to gain it, to reach it. That's about Cope Manners. He's a machine. So Cope Manners, the machine. Do you remember when I said, what was it? Cope Manners, machine, rubber cup. Yeah, he said machine. He's a machine. Thuram, un giocherellone. What does that mean, un giocherellone? Is a player, but not a player like seducing. He's one that is a funny, joking guy. A bit like we are watching Weston McKennie. Then he spoke about Di Gregorio. He said he looks much more, like severe, strict than he actually is, but he's è buono come il pane. He's as good as the bread. Can we say that, as good as the bread in Italian? No. In English it doesn't sound like that. But he's a super kind person. So he looks severe and inaccessible, like, oh, he will eat me like a tiger, but actually it's the opposite. Super fantastic, beautiful person. Cabal is a bit introvert, but he didn't show all his potential yet. Spoke about Douglas Luiz. He said he's a genius at the pure state. He's a genius of football. Una genialità allo stato puro. He impressed me about how he's touching the ball. And also the people are criticizing him. They will realize it soon. He spoke about Adzic. We already went through the words of Adzic. He said he's a diamond. He's only 18, just arrived from Montenegro. It looks like they're since an entire life at Juve. What Kalulu is a soldier. He said, Mamma mia, this guy, he doesn't miss one thing. He doesn't miss one thing. Everything he's doing it right. Nico Gonzalez is one of the Argentinians that when you have him as an opponent, you don't like him. But when he's in your team, he's the guy that would jump for you, give his life to defend you, to help you. Conceição is a bomba. Bomba. It's pure dynamite. Oh, guys, I think that, usually when they are asking, what do you think about the new players, the guys? Usually you have that really political answer. Oh, I like them. They are great. They are really a beautiful addition to the team. It's difficult to choose between them. I find myself really well with all of the teams. Of course, I have a bit more affinity with the one that is speaking my language. This is usually what you hear. Here you have a really transparent, open Cambiaso that is going towards all the players that are new, describing them in a funny way, in a really clear, honest way. Beautiful, huh? Really, really, really beautiful thing. Spoke about Thiago Motta and Allegri, and then these are the last two chapters. From a tactical point of view, already at Bologna, he showed me and he made me discover things that I never seen before, Thiago Motta. I found him again here even more determined to do things well. With him, we don't have rules, but we are occupying the spaces, something that we already spoke about in the past with Cambiaso. He has a way of managing the group that is really particular to him. He never makes us understand who is playing, so he doesn't give the formation earlier, which actually keep us really alert until a few hours before the game. And that creates even more internal competition because you want until the last training session to show that you are deserving to play. And you always have that mottata, he call it the mottata, so the genius thing that you're not expecting from Motta, la mottata. And at the moment, he's always succeeding when he's doing mottata. Of course, he's speaking about Bangula, about Savona, about these players that are entering. I think he's a visionary. That's how he described Thiago Motta. And then about Max Allegri, he says, I really love Max Allegri. I only want the good of Max Allegri, but also Landucci, that was always close to me. What Allegri gave me was that mental balance. I remember that in the beginning of last season, I wanted to break the world. And he always told me, calma, 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 because I was too furious. And that being too furious, it brought me out of the game, out of the moment. He was the first one to give me shoes that were comfortable. Because with these shoes, you can go far. This was beautiful, eh? He gave me comfortable shoes that will bring me far. Mamma mia. This is a description, guys, that is just crazy. Crazy. I know that he really appreciated Max Allegri because I spoke about it with him. And when it's political talk or when it's sincere talk, I always spoke really well about Max Allegri from a human point of view. And I will continue always to respect him for the person that he is. But I'm happy to hear it also from a Cambiaso that is really sincere when he's speaking about Max. But the words that he's using were beautiful, were really, really beautiful. That was the interview of Cambiaso. I really loved it. From what he said about Fagioli, Pogba, what he said about a rival point of view, what is Juve from the new arrivals, from Thiago Motta. Chapeau. I see a lot of people saying here in the chat, Beppe, future captain. There are already some talks on social media where that will be one of his dreams. Why not? Why not? Why not? One day. Yeah, why not? Why not? That was it, I think. We have only 150 likes for 2 hours of live. Wanted to do a video, then I decided that it was better to go with a live for the press conference of Thiago Motta and the words of Cambiaso. Conceição, a few words, Papa, that played at Parma, Lazio, great Lazio, and Inter, he said I was the one to tell him go to Juve. It's always beautiful, one of the biggest club of the world, to stay humble, to control the moments, and then things will go well. Beautiful. Golden Boy, we have Kenan Yildiz in it. We have also the wild card. 5 players were added that in the wild card. We have Mbangula that is there, and for the women we have Schatzer, Eva Schatzer, young, 19 years old, I think. She's born in 2005. Yeah, 19 years old. Future talent. She's in the last top 10s from Golden Boy trophy for the women. So it's great, even if I think that Yamal deserved and will win it. But having Kenan Yildiz there is beautiful. As a wild card from young players, probably I would have added Savona. I would have added Savona on top, if I had the possibility, because it's true that Mangula showed. Let me go towards it. By the way, wait. I will show you the list of the Golden Boy. It's written in really small, but I'm not saying that Savona should have won, but of course you have Mbangula that is surprising everyone. 1 goal, 2 assists, penalty received. It was a really beautiful surprise also for the Belgian national under-21 team, because he's now playing there as a starter with the number 10. So beautiful surprise revelation of the beginning of the season. But as a revelation, I think that I would have added Savona. Look, we have here Wilson Odobert from Tottenham. I don't know who he is. Andreas Schjeldrup from Benfica, Hendrik from Real Madrid, Elias Benseghir, is a really good player, Benseghir from Monaco, and then Samuel Mbangula. Well, if I had the wild card, I would have gone for Savona. Yeah. Oh, he's taking the lead on Juve, already scored a goal in Serie A. He's able to do both defensive phases, while it was a player that was not even there. Then, in the 20, be honest, guys. If we take out Yamal, because I think that Yamal will win, you have Joao Neves, Zaire Emery, Garnacho, Kubarsi, Savio, Rico Lewis, Alexander Pavlovic, Kobe Mainu, Yorel Hato, Lenny Yoro, Jamie Bingi Gittens, I don't know who he is, Kenan Yildiz, Christian Mosquera from Valencia, Wharton, Gouler, Arda Gouler, Matisse Tel, Désiré Doué from Paris Saint-Germain, Oscar Gluck, and Samuel Omordion. If we take away Lamine Yamal, who is the player that you think that deserves to be in the second spot from these players that I just told you? Neves, Zaire Emery, Garnacho, Kubarsi, etc., etc. Is there one player that you would have gone for? It's too small. Unfortunately, I can't show it to bigger to you. Garnacho from Ahmed, Mosquera from Eric. My top 5 from this list. Honestly, I didn't watch all of them at the same level, but I would go for Yamal first, honest. You know that I have a big love for Zaire Emery. I have a huge big love for Zaire Emery. Mainu is a really good player. I love Kubarsi and Yildiz. So, wait, it's tough. It's not easy. Yamal Kubarsi, 100%. Yeah, you know, it's difficult, huh? So, Yamal, Kubarsi, Zaire Emery, Kenan Yildiz, and my fifth name would be Menu, I think. It's tough because Savio did really well with Girona as well last year. Yamal. Not in order, of course. Yamal is first, but then. So Yamal, Kubarsi, Zaire Emery, Yildiz, and yeah, probably Menu. Menu is a great. Yeah. Yamal is another level. Yamal is another level. Garnacha is great as well. You know why I didn't put Arda Güler? I love Arda Güler. Huh? But even this season, since he's at Real Madrid, since now 1 year and a half, still didn't take it. Huh? Even with Bellingham, that was not there. He was not the permanent starter yet. Can be that things change if Ancelotti leaves. But at the moment, I didn't see enough from Arda Güler. Even if I think that Arda Güler could be. Then, can you tell me, what does Kenan Yildiz miss next year? Because if you win, you cannot participate anymore. For example, Bellingham cannot be in that list anymore. If Yamal wins next year, Yamal will not be in that list anymore. But if we are speaking about next year, if Yildiz probably will again be there, what does he miss to win it? If we are looking at the names that we have here, plus probably new players that we didn't discover yet, what does he miss, Kenan, to win it next year? It's a lot, huh? If you are seeing numbers, so stats, more playing time, more assists, more scores, that means that he's far from top one, huh? At the moment. If we're listening to Don Simon, goal, assist, trophies. If I can sum up, I would go towards one word. Being decisive. Being decisive. I think that this season, if Kenan is decisive, he enters a potential winner next year. Salvatore is saying, Beppe, you know what? I'm going to Juve Stuttgart. Oh, that's a pity. I miss you because I go tomorrow for Juve Lazio. And I will miss you for a few days. I could have stayed a bit longer, but I needed to go and come back. Otherwise, it would have been too expensive. But I will let you know, of course. I will send you on Telegram, on Instagram, of course. Yeah. Thank you for 15 months, Salvatore. Really appreciate it. Really, really, really appreciate it. We already spoke about it, Ahmed. We don't know. We try to make. If you scroll back, you will see the lineup that we made, but we had really difficulties. We had really difficulties to make it, and Thiago Motta didn't help at all. Tiagone, grande Thiago. Are there some news that we missed so that we can close then? Is there something special that we didn't see that we missed? Boo. Boo. No, it's 2 hours of live. We can close. We can close the live. Trying to check. In Premier League, they are testing a form of totally automated offside. A system that will bring in a few years to use AI also in the evaluation of fouls, with actually the objective to have 0 referee mistakes. Let's see. Let's see. Maybe we'll ask Elon Musk to have robots instead of human referee. But robots, at least they are partial. But except if you put a chip in it, like favor one team more than the other. Trying to check. No, I think we spoke about all the news. We can close. It's not that I want to close, but I think it's time to close. I will do a video for this evening, and then we see each other tomorrow. Follow me on social media. Follow me on social media, guys. If you're looking at the last update, 34,216 Juventini. If you want to help the channel, guys, put a maximum of like. And then I will start saying goodbye to all of you. Ciao to Pecalogia, to Serraz, to Cole. Ciao Grande. That is going for Udinese Juve. Ciao to Antoninus. Thanks for the live. I arrived late, so I'm gonna rewind and watch it again. Thank you, Antoninus. Thank you to Ahmed, to Simon, to Zlatko, Luca Puscheddu, to Flying Tracker, to Yellow Star, Vincenzo, and all the other ones. You were, again, fantastic. Ciao, forza.